Happy, healthy, and free with BoYee. Hello, beautifuls. Welcome to Happy, Healthy, and Free with BoYee. It's been a while. I'm so happy to be back, and we have a very, very special guest today, Dylan Wells. He is a vegan and an animal rights advocate here in Sacramento, California. So, welcome.
Hi.
Hello. How do you feel right now?
Good.
Excellent, excellent. And it's so beautiful right now. The weather is absolutely perfect. Neither of us want it to get hotter or cooler. It's like perfect.
I would be remiss if I didn't thank my roommate for the surrounding environment and flowers.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. Maybe I can give you a tour later. But anyway, so I just want to go over Dylan's top 3 reasons for why he decided to go vegan, because I always find it to be so interesting, because every time I talk to fellow vegans, everyone has their own, their own reason, their own inspiration as to why they wanted to make that commitment. So before I ask you that, can I please ask you, when did you become a vegan?
I've been vegan for 4.5 years now, but actually I was vegetarian the first year, which I really kind of advocate for people to do, because there's such a stigma to veganism being difficult that any transition towards veganism is better for the person, for animals, and for the environment. So I definitely don't preach perfection in veganism. I think if people want to start as vegetarian, that's great, and because it works so well, and I believe in it so much that if somebody starts moving in that direction, I know that they'll want to go even further in that direction.
Yes.
So I did my first year as vegetarian, at the end of which I knew this is for me, and I'm going to go even further with it.
Nice.
So now it's been 4.5 years.
Excellent. Well, when your 5th year is coming around, let me know. We can maybe celebrate.
Okay.
We'll come back and celebrate.
It's essentially the day after Christmas, because I started to go vegetarian, and then on Christmas Day I just absent-mindedly picked up and ate a piece of meat, and so I had to reset. I had to reset my meat sobriety date. So basically, when Christmas comes around, I'm not really celebrating Christmas. I'm celebrating my vegan anniversary.
I love that. That's so special. Love it. Love it. Love it. So wonderful, 4.5 years, congratulations. And so yeah, let's go ahead and start with your first reason why you became vegan.
1 and 2 are kind of a tie, but what I'll go with now, what my truth is now versus then, the number 1 reason for me is animal rights. I was feeling hypocritical to love animals and to want to do something to help animals, and then not making that connection that what I was eating was a tortured and murdered animal. So I started to feel hypocrisy there, which is why I went vegetarian. And even when I was vegetarian, I would make jokes about, like, yeah, but I'm not going to go vegan. Like, that's not important. But then near the end of that first year, I started to feel that same hypocrisy of, I think these things, I believe these things, and yet I'm taking actions, or I'm complicit in somebody else's actions that are causing harm to animals. And that's why I wanted to go more to become fully vegan. And that's why now I'm wanting to become an animal rights activist and get more involved in that, because I feel like when you're vegan, you're not necessarily doing something that's making the world a better place. You're just not participating in something that's making the world a worse place.
Oh, that's a good
So it's not until I help other people who wouldn't have otherwise gone vegan that I've actually made a difference, in my opinion. So that's what
okay.
Yeah, so you can't really get more vegan than vegan until you start actually trying to proactively make the world more that direction. So that's what I'm wanting to do now. So that's my first reason. My second reason, it's just, we're really lucky that it turns out that this is the appropriate and healthiest diet for human beings. I really do believe that as an animal, humans are supposed to be vegan. And I did when I was...
Just so we can clarify to the audience, in case some people don't know, what does that entail? Like, what are vegans not supposed to eat?
I think that anatomically, biologically, we are plant eaters. And there's a lot of proof to back that up. So what would be better for me to say is just to speak from my own experience.
Sure.
That I had, like, my whole life growing up, I had health problems, and I was, like, sick a lot when I was a kid, and of course going to doctors who just found nothing, because doctors don't tell people to be vegan. Even nutritionists don't tell people to be vegan. So I had in particular stomach problems, and it wasn't until I was in college that I, was tired of not getting any help, so I decided to solve the problem my own way, which was essentially a form of anorexia. I just stopped eating.
Oh my gosh.
And I was cool with it because I'm a musician, so I liked getting super skinny, and I actually lost 20 pounds the first month.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't a very healthy lifestyle, and I paired that with excessive drinking also.
Oh my goodness.
So, but the thing was that I wasn't suffering those health problems anymore.
Interesting. No more constipation.
Right. It just all the different things. So once I wanted to start eating again and start being healthier, I went vegetarian. And I realized the problem was that I was eating meat and eating dairy products. And that's what I was having an adverse reaction to my entire life.
Right.
So now that I'm vegan, I eat more than I've ever eaten in my life, and I have no problems whatsoever. So in my experience, it's been the appropriate diet for me.
Beautiful.
And I've heard a lot of other people talk about that as well.
Yes, yes. I can attest to that. I'm on a plant-based diet myself. Okay, so just to recap, the first one's for the animals. Animal rights. And health, general health. And you believe, at least for yourself and for other people, that we are plant-based eaters.
Right.
And
I would pair that as well with a mental and emotional and what you might call spiritual health. Because, and again, in my experience, I had a lot of depression, anxiety, nervousness, and that is gone. That just, I was probably 6 months to 8 months vegetarian before I felt that really go away. And it's funny, well, it's not funny, it's really sad that in our society we're so obsessed with eating dead animals. And we also have this really bad epidemic of people who are solving their problems with pills. So people who are...
Oh dear goodness gracious.
Depressed, anxious, and all these problems, they're looking for a pill to solve. And people have the right to their own medical health care. I'm not saying that at all.
Yes.
But it's unfortunate. It's like people are putting in something that causes a damage to them, and instead of stopping that, they're just putting in something else to fix it. And I know...
It's not really fixing it usually all the way.
And I feel like, the epidemic in American society of depression, anxiety, and all of these things is cured by going vegan, because we're eating animals that suffered depression and anxiety and fear, and that's, a more spiritual way of you are what you eat.
Absolutely, and I agree with that as well.
Reason number 3.
Yes.
Reason number 3. At this point, reason number 3 would be would be environmental. I'm wanting to expand more. Now I want to get better about recycling and waste and things like that, so I can be. I know the first thing you can do for the environment, it's the best thing, is to go vegan.
That's right.
It is the biggest cause of environmental destruction. So the upside of not being a participant in causing so much damage to the environment is important to me. Is becoming increasingly important to me. So I'm wanting to expand beyond veganism to look at every other element of my life. How can I veganize other elements of my life besides just the diet? Because for so long it was like a vegan diet and I don't buy leather jackets, and now it's like, well, is it really vegan to be causing a lot of waste? And I'm sure somebody will recognize that it's hypocritical that I'm drinking out of a plastic water bottle right now.
It's like you said before, it's the transition.
But I'm getting better. That's what I'm working. That's the next step for me. That's what I'm getting working towards. So.
Beautiful. I like that. And I like how you said earlier that you would rather someone go through the vegetarian phase too, if need be, and then from there transition into a vegan diet, vegan lifestyle, because sometimes people, they have the intention of they understand why it's important to do so, and it's in their heart and everything, but physiologically they might not be ready, and so they try, and then I've seen for myself too, it's just too fast for the body, and then they go back to eating meat full time.
Right.
Or they think that the vegan diet or a plant-based diet isn't good for them because they had all these adverse, detox symptoms, but that's all it was, detox symptoms. They didn't go slow enough. And the diet I'm on includes enemas and things like that, so those things can help one to release toxins faster. So I'm glad you shared that part. So if anyone out there wants to become vegan or is inspired to become vegan, you don't have to be so black and white about it. and there's no need to guilt trip yourself about it, you know?
Right, and it seems so daunting. There's such a myth of veganism being difficult, and the thing is, there is a fair amount of exploration and self-education that you have to do to make that transition, because you're breaking a cycle probably handed down from your parents. You know, my parents ate animals, and that's why I did when I was a kid, so I had to recognize an ill that was taking place and break that cycle. But it's unfortunate that that's paired with it, because it's so easy to be vegan. In my opinion, it's the easiest thing that I do.
So easy now, yes.
And yeah, we're lucky now. It's so much easier. The stigmas about how difficult it's going to be for people to go vegan, that's completely backed by the meat industry and the dairy industry.
Good point.
Because if you think about, like, who profits off of us all feeling like veganism is difficult, well, that would be the people who sell carcasses.
Right.
They want us to think that it's hard to be vegan. So it's really important for us to be out there and talking about this. The other thing is that, what was I going to say? I just think that when we preach perfection, you have to go vegan. You have to go vegan right now. There's going to be some apathy, and I think it's important that there are animal activists all across the board of different ways of doing it. Like, I love the people that are very extreme, but I also love the people that are very mellow and just talk about the benefits of veganism, because we have kind of an apathetic society, and there are some people who, like I said, the first reason why I do this is for animal rights. You know, I think what happens to animals is disgusting, and I don't want to be a part of it. I feel like if I'd lived during the 1800s, I would have been an abolitionist. There's no way I would have wanted to propagate a system of subjugation and racism and slavery. So I feel like that's happening right now, and there are voiceless victims. But the thing is that we kind of have to recognize is there are people who don't care about animal rights at all.
Right, at all.
And we could show them videos of animals being tortured, and they'll just be like, well, it tastes good, and they really will not care. And I'm not interested in psychoanalyzing those people, but I'm interested in helping them turn vegan. So another approach needs to be taken, which could be like, hey, it's cool if you don't care about animals at all, but here's why you should go vegan for yourself.
There's so many other reasons. So many other reasons. Right. So that's why I'm so glad you shared your top 3. Each one was very different. And just to kind of close and give our audience, you know, kind of just what's in your heart, if I were to ask you, or say someone out there is inspired by this right now and they want to go vegan, what advice would you give them? If it was like the only thing you could ever say to them.
My advice would be to have an open mind to figure things out on your own. Because like you were talking about people who have that adverse reaction to going vegan, I've known so many people who will tell you that one friend of theirs tried veganism and didn't like it. So now for the rest of their life, they're going to eat meat because a friend of theirs said they tried veganism and didn't like it.
Right.
So if you do this on your own and you really investigate on your own and you give it a genuine shot, you know, this has only improved the quality of my life majorly. So what I'm doing now, because I'm trying to think of different ways, I have had so many people recently come up to me and say that they want to go vegan or they want to go vegetarian, and I know that it's partly based on the things that I've said around them. And so what I started doing right now, I have 2 really close friends of mine have both agreed to go on meat-free diets in exchange for me to join them on their gym regimen for 30 days. Which is something that I would never do on my own. So I'm going to have to be going to the gym with these guys, and I'm sure I'm going to be very beat up by the end of the month, but how could I turn it down if 2 different people are going to go on meat-free diets for a month? So
Beautiful.
So that's what I want to start doing. That gave me the idea to do my own vegan challenge. So people can contact me and basically come up with a challenge for me. And in exchange, they'll go meat-free or vegan for 30 days, and I will accept a challenge from them for 30 days.
Excellent.
The obvious asterisk being that I will not breach my veganism. It's not like I'm going to eat meat for 30 days while they go vegan.
Of course.
So it's all supposed to be a healthy and positive thing.
Yes, a win-win.
And I have the right to turn down challenges as well.
Yes,
but so I feel like if I do that, then I can get 12 or more people a year to try vegan diets.
Yes.
And, that it'll be kind of a more fun thing to do.
Wonderful. And so there might be some people out there who want to challenge you with something healthy, who knows? And so if they want to submit a challenge to you, what would be the easiest way to get a hold of you?
Probably through Facebook.
Okay, and I'll
Just go-
provide the link
Okay,
below.
yeah. You can add me on Facebook and message me through Facebook, and I'll take on as many challenges as I can in 1 month. If
That's
I can
so
take on
exciting.
other challenges while being beat up at the gym by these guys, I will do it.
Yay, that's so fun. I really feel your heart, and I love the approach you're taking because, like you said, it's nice to have an array of different personalities to, promote veganism
Right.
because everyone's going to resonate with a different personality. So, and I really like your approach. I like the way you bring about veganism to the world and share it. It's beautiful and balanced. I like it.
Well, there are also stigmas of vegans that I think need to be erased, which is
Yes, let's take it. Yes.
what's
Let's talk about that.
what's really I think people are worried to go. I think people need to see the difference between a vegan and an animal rights activist, because all you have to do to be vegan is not cause harm to animals. You have to eat a diet that is plant-based and doesn't require genocide of animals and torture to animals for their products. You are not required to I'm being vegan. You're already boycotting so many companies. I mean, we're almost anarchists just to begin with. I'm already boycotting so many companies without even trying, just because I don't buy their product. But you don't have to join a company like an organization. You don't have to join any animal rights organizations.
I see.
You don't have to go stand on the corner with a sign.
Right.
You don't have to make your own online blog. Like all of the stuff that's considered extreme of veganism, that's not really veganism. Those are animal rights activists.
Okay.
And you don't have to do that to be vegan. And I think that some people still have an idea of what a vegan is as being like some
For sure.
earthy hippie person. I'm not like that at all. There are a lot of people out there that are not like that at all. So destigmatizing veganism, so you know that all it is not eating dead animals and not eating the products of animals.
Very simple.
I love it so much that I want to go further with it into animal rights, but that's not at all a requirement for veganism.
Oh, good
and
to know.
I think that if people were to look at it like that, they don't have to be joining us in an interview about animal rights. They can just not eat animals.
I love that.
It simplifies it a bit.
Thank you for simplifying for us because that did need to be clarified for sure. So thank you for joining me for this interview. I really enjoyed it, and thanks for tuning in, everyone. So please contact Dylan if you have questions or want to, challenge him with anything or just share anything positive with him. You can message him on Facebook. But in the meantime, happy transitioning to a healthier lifestyle, happier lifestyle, and more liberated lifestyle. Love you all. Namaste. Mwah. Hugs. Hi, Dylan.